Yo, what's up, guys? Today I got one of the best LAVALOON players in Clash Royale history to come share some replays on the channel, which I thought was so nice of him. Thank you so much, Rakan. Shout out to you for sharing some replays. Rakan finished 26th in the world with a really bad lava meta, so I shout out to him. So we're just going to be analyzing some games from his push and seeing I guess just what he did, his strategies, and just trying to look at how one of the best lava players in the game plays. So we see a Sparky in the back and he responds with an Inferno, and I would say, yeah, the lava comes in front of here just to tank for whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter if he had Zappies, E-Wiz, whatever. So the Skelly Drags are interesting. I like this play. He does sack a Sparky hit, but I like the Skelly Drags play because when you can, like, that's what I've tended to notice. Like, when you can, if you could play, like, the Drags or something, instead of playing a card that can't be beneficial to your lava push, play that card. So as you can see, he got a ton of value, but also the Drags were also, this game ends, like, instantly. But he got a ton of value from the Drags off the counter push. And then it's just a simple counter push. Like, he just won the game off of one counter push because that's just how it goes sometimes with this deck. So I mean, there's not too much to say about that other than, I mean, the lava in front's a good play. The Drags are also a good play, especially if your opponent can't kill the Drags. But also sometimes the Drags are even better than the Loon, because, for example, if you could use arrows to kill something, like archers, for example, but you choose to use Drags instead, your Drags did cost 1 elixir more, but now you have the opponent has to deal with your archers too. So cannon cart comes in here. It does manage to lock onto the tower, get a couple shots, but we have the miner and the arrows coming in here. Sorry about my stuffy nose. I'm still sick, which is really unfortunate, but yeah, hopefully we'll get better soon. I've been taking them vitamin gummies. I love the gummies, bro. But yeah, I mean, the key here, what seems to be the key, is you want to go in heavily on offense to try and get damage, but only do it if you can't, like, get punished for it. So as you can see, Rakan tried to go in, it didn't work, it kind of backfired, but he managed to wrap up the whole Skeleton King counter push with 1 zap. And as you can see, prioritizing defense here, he goes with the Drags. Just a pretty simple play. I mean, there's no reason to sack damage. That should be your main goal. The lava comes down. Yes, you have to back up your lava, but it's more important, if you can defend flawlessly, to just defend flawlessly. And so as you can see, I believe the arrows come in here from Luminary. They wrap everything up, but got a little bit of damage. 900 damage is still pretty good, so I mean, that's still good for Rakan. And again, Rakan going in with these pushes, making sure that he can't be counter pushed or punished, because the barbarians, they're 1 elixir extra than the Skelly King, but they create a counter push. And so if you think about it like that, he technically got extra value from going with those barbs, because although it was a -1 trade on the Skeleton King, he forced out a cannon cart that is now useless. The arrows was a nice little play just to stop the cannon cart, so he didn't have to spend more elixir dealing with the cart. And with the mortar, you want to get rid of the mortar, of course, but you don't have to prioritize getting rid of the mortar here. Yeah, I believe he's just going in with the Drags here. Pretty simple. Honestly, I think the barbs come in. No, they don't. Interesting play. He decides to go with the zap and the miner. So it seems like the strategy here is to guarantee that you take a tower, and then spend, and then if you're guaranteed to take the tower, you want to make sure that you're playing light defense, but you're not letting your opponent take the tower. So like here, what he does is that Inferno miner balloon push was not designed to take the tower. It was designed to force Luminary into playing cards that would make it so that he couldn't take the tower. So Rakan decided to play light defense but not give up his tower, because by not giving up his tower, he was able to go with that little mini push and force Luminary's elixir out on defense, and then from there it worked out really well because Luminary didn't even end up taking his tower. So I hope you guys can see what he did there, and I think that's a really smart play. It's kind of hard to implement that sometimes, as far as like for me, but Hopefully, as I play his deck more, if I decide to play his deck more and Classic Lava remains bad, then yeah, hopefully that's something I can pick up. But I mean, pretty simple again here by Inferno Dragon on the knight, just wraps up the knight, and then the balloon takes out the Expo. And he did take a little bit of damage, but it's the most, it's just the safest play to deal with the Expo, because if you were to go with drags, the opponent can fireball them, barbs, opponent can fireball them, minor it can be caught. And so yeah, the barbs come in here, which is interesting. But what happens here is a split lane push that Aragon is going to have to deal with. So he does log, and he does skellies as well. He's got to spend 3 extra elixir on those barbs, which are still looking like they're going to get a couple slaps on the tower. So the miner comes in here last second, and now, you know, what's really coming in handy here is the fact that Aragon doesn't have that extra 3 elixir. By using the barbs on the knight, Rakan managed to save his tower, as well as get Aragon's right tower all the way down to 2200 because he didn't have enough for Fireball to take care of the lava pups. So it's just a small, it's the little things. It's the little things, you know. That's some pretty good plays. It seems like pretty simple plays, but they're actually pretty good. So he does ignore the Ice Spirit Skellies because as much as he would like to not take the Ice Spirit Skellies damage, you can't exactly go Barbarians on Skeletons and Ice Spirit. So yeah, I mean, the Lava and the Inferno coming down here. Inferno is always good at first because it will kill the Expo from behind the lava, so that's a good play. The balloon is coming in here because it's going to force Aragon to cannon. He does zap as well. A nice zap keeps the balloon alive for longer. As you can see, Rakan's going to force out all of Aragon's elixir and lava counters or air counters on the right lane. That balloon that you distracted, you put aside with the cannon didn't kill it. That balloon never died. So now Aragon has to deal with the left tower and the right tower, because he still has to get 345 on the left tower, but now he also just needs to defend the left tower and the right tower, and he can't defend the left tower because Rakan took it all the way down to 64 HP with that balloon. And so now Rakan just flipped the script. Like, it was going good for Aragon up until that moment. So I mean, don't be scared of going with that balloon there, because although it may seem like it gets distracted by the cannon is only going to stall it. And here, no cannon, what are you going to do? It's just game over, and a really well-played match from Rakan. It's just a very good balance of when to defend, when to attack. Comes from experience, but also it's just basic game knowledge sometimes. So that should come in handy for mid-ladder players, like if you're facing mid-ladder stuff. You know, just knowing when and what to attack. You don't need a specific list of, oh, if he does this, I'm gonna attack. It's just more of a situational thing. If I don't ignore E-barbs at the bridge, what's gonna happen? You know, so. You know, it's just if you guys find yourself losing or just like getting blown out while playing this deck, try and find things that, you know, you see are wrong. Like if you were too offensive in single, or maybe you overcommitted, because it's you got to be balanced. As much as people say, "Oh, just lava first play with this deck," it does look like a lot of the time lava first play is not the way to go. Like lava first play is a meme kind of, and although it wins you certain matchups, I wouldn't say, unless you're APIing your opponent, so like you're looking up their deck, I wouldn't say it's like the best play. Because if you look up their deck and you can lava first play against the deck, then yeah, go ahead and do it, I guess. But for a lot of people, that's not the case. So pretty simple, just playing passive, playing defense, reacting to what Pedro's doing here, and just simple responses to the Mighty Miner. He goes drags here, because now the drags wrap up, they're double value drags. They wrap up the Mighty Miner, and they go in with the archers. So like, he could have wrapped up the Mighty Miner with something different, but using the Skelly drags instead of like anything else, like the arrows or something, is going to allow more damage to come from Rakan, as well as forcing out more elixir from the opponent. A beautiful zap there. Manages to stun the archers and take that tower. I love the Zap, man. The Zap is one of the spells with the most outplay potential in the game. Actually, it's one of the cards with the most outplay potential in the game. I'll put it. I'll say it. I'll say it. That's my hot take of the day. I think it's one of the most skilled cards in the game. I do. And so here, very smart. Waits for the mortar to connect before going with the barbs so that the barbs don't just instantly die. And so as you can see, the Skelly Drags are going to help out here because he doesn't have his ability ready. Drags are once again getting a lot of value. Look at the count the value that the Drags have gotten. This is what separates a good lava players from average and low skill lava players. Like, the amount of value you can get with your drags is dependent on how you play them in certain situations. And as you can see, Rakan, Doom, all these players, they are, what's the word? Adept? I don't think it's adept. Maybe it is. It's something like that. But they're just amazing with the Skelly Drags. They're amazing at getting value with their Skelly Drags. So as you can see, Rakan played pretty well, of course. He did get to top 25 in the world. Let me know if you want to see some more gameplay from him. I'll make sure to ask for more. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.